There you are.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. For the
Yeah, how is
circumstances.
isolation?
It's it's a whole lot of creativity for me. I'm just trying to stay as creative as I can, as
Yeah.
productive as possible. What about
Uh,
you? How are you doing?
well, I am reorganizing my entire house. I've gone into like massive
Work.
organizational mode because I moved into this flat like a year and a half ago,
Uh-huh.
and I haven't had time to just kind of move in properly, put things away in the right places and stuff like that. I'm cooking, which I never do. I'm an awful cook, but I've
What?
started.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. But I started cooking easy recipes. It's just like get familiar with the kitchen and stuff like that.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
lots of dancing too, and trying to stay creative. P.S. Your video dance at home was amazing.
Yes, you liked it.
Absolutely. I mean, how long did that take you to put together? Because there was like, I mean, every single
Yeah.
dancer that I can imagine was in the list at the end was so long.
Yeah, it was like 200 and no, not 200, 121 dancers or something like that came together for this video. So it was quite intense, and it took a while to edit. Well, I'm lucky enough to my flatmate is the guy that edits all my videos and shoots them as well. Josh 91 Films. So yeah, we were
You got
editing.
help.
Yeah, I had. Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't editing that at all. Like he was the guy that put it all together, and then it was just a lot of watching. There was a lot of freestyle, so I would sit down and literally watch every single freestyle, figuring out okay when are we gonna include that specific moment, and when does that match with the music, and what moments to choose basically, and also to
Yeah.
include everyone. It was a huge challenge, but I felt hopefully it did the job. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
No, it definitely did. And I had my little cameo, my little moment.
Yes, you did.
I'm not gonna lie, I need to, guys. So Tobias sent me himself teaching the routine broken down, nice and explaining everything. And I was learning and I was like, oh, this is hard, but okay, I'm gonna give it a go because I like challenging myself, right? I learned the whole thing in an hour and a half, however long it took me. And I get to the end and I'm like, yes, I got it. And then you say, okay, guys, that was the advanced routine. You can also do that.
That's
But
why I
then,
put it in the front because I
but then
figured
I
everyone would
felt
just go
even
straight
more
into.
proud. Then I felt even more proud. I was like,
That's right.
what? So Tobias, I want to go right from the beginning. You were born in I always say that wrong. Do I say Copenhagen or Copenhagen?
Well, it is Copenhagen, yeah. Well,
Copenhagen.
if you want to
Okay.
say in the Danish way, it's København, but that's completely different.
What? How?
København,
Copenhagen.
yeah,
That's
ish.
such a cool language. It always sounds like you guys are singing. It's such a pretty language.
I disagree. I think it sounds like we have a potato in the mouth or something like that. I don't think it's a very pretty language. I'm not gonna lie.
I like it. And so you were born there, and
Yeah.
I read that you started teaching really early, at
Yes.
15.
Yeah. When I was 15, I started teaching and just because I had a love for. I started out as well. The first style that I ever did was breakdance,
Uh
but
huh.
then I think within a year I started doing like hip hop classes and a lot of choreography, and then I started falling in love with the act of putting steps together and making the transitions work and finding that correct musicality and trying to emphasize the things you want the people to hear in the music. But I
Yeah.
think I've done that ever like since I ever started because I was just very much into musicality and music in general. So I
Yeah.
wanted to honor the sounds the best way possible.
So as a kid, when you were growing up in Copenhagen, I said it right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Were you always quite musically inclined? Did you grow up in a house with lots of music? Did your parents listen to music?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there was always music in the house. A lot of it was mostly Prince. Prince was literally he's like
Oh,
my
no.
favorite musician of all time.
Is he your favorite?
Yeah, he's like the number one for me. He's the
No.
goat. So there was a lot of Prince music and also a lot of Sting music and just in general a lot of different music. And I would just be vibing around, dancing to it. My dad used to play in a band when he was younger, so he
Cool.
played the bass. He's like boop 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 boop. And my mom actually she used to work behind the scenes at a theater. She was a stage manager, and she was also
Ah.
a clown in a circus. So
That's amazing, though.
yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of been in your family, music and entertainment and performing.
totally. And yeah, and
Yeah,
they've always been very very supportive and very encouraging, which has been nice, you know. So
yeah, that's the best thing I think. Because my parents were the same. My parents always kind of like said, "Spread your wings, whatever you want to do, we've got your
mm,
back."
do
And
your
it's
thing.
amazing to have that support. And so, right, so you grew up in a household where obviously entertainment and music was a big thing. Prince was your favorite. You started with break dancing. You started doing lots of other different styles, but putting
Word.
them together was what really excited you. So is that
Yeah,
like the beginning of the choreographer that is Tobias?
I think I think so. I think I've always loved. You know, I think it's important to study the foundational styles, and then as you start to know your movement library, you can start to experiment, of course, and try
Mhm.
new things and try to mix them. So I've always loved. I loved, I guess, figuring out what my own style was and trying to figure out these trademarks and
You definitely
just
have your own style. That's for
that's
sure.
good. That's mission accomplished for sure.
Yeah. Because I feel
But
like when I watch your choreography, there's elements of, I almost want to say tap, but you can
yeah,
see the break dancing in you. You can see all those isolations massively from the break
yeah.
dancing, but then there's a lightness in your feet that you get that only comes. Have you ever studied tap? Was that ever anything you did before growing up or as a
Trust
teenager?
me. I've always wanted to. Tap is like my favorite style, I think, and I've actually still. I wanted to order some tap shoes now because I've never trained tap. I've never ever taken a
You're
tap class.
so light and quick on your feet. I feel like if I could describe you, well, when I always say it, when I watch it, it's like you're flying. Your feet never touch the floor. It's like you're constantly moving.
Like I don't even know.
But
Yeah,
I'm
I hear
serious
that a
for
lot.
tap. That'd be great.
Yeah, I want to do tap. I want to. That's probably the next thing I'll study a lot, just because I love the style and my favorite. One of my biggest inspirations are Nicholas Brothers, of course,
Yeah,
Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. So I love those like those iconic movies and Singing in the Rain, all these different that is like some of my
yeah.
biggest inspirations. Um, so yeah, I really want to dig into the style, but I've never taken a proper tap class with wearing tap shoes. I just always just sort of making it
Ooh.
up.
Maybe you should order them online and start doing it at home. Your neighbors might not love that. Your downstairs neighbors.
Everyone's gonna hate me for it, but to be fair, it's not even any different to what I'm doing right now. I'm literally just jumping around like a maniac.
Uh, so let me ask you then, Tobias. So you started teaching quite early. Was that in Denmark, back home?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
When did you
Um,
make the transition over to the UK? How old were you? How did that happen?
I think I was. I want to really get the age right here. I think I must have been like, I want to say 20, 20 when I moved to the UK. Well, not when I moved. When I started working in the UK, I was 20. That's for sure. And it was actually it was funny because I was working in Denmark and I was enjoying just the life as a commercial dancer in Copenhagen. And then I think I received an email from someone in my friend circle, and they're like, "Oh, there's this audition going on for X Factor in the UK." Like, okay, let's go then.
Cool.
So then we jumped on a plane, myself and two of my friends. One of them being Anders, which is one of my closest friends still today, and we went to this audition, and it was just a great experience. I managed to book it, and then yeah, then I started working. Then I did X Factor, but literally I was still living in Denmark, so I was literally flying back and forth, and I
Ooh,
didn't know because they only book you. They say you're now confirmed for the entire period, but then they would book you in per week.
I
So
see.
so it was like this challenge of just, okay, what do I
Going
do? Do
backwards
I
and
just,
forwards. Yeah.
yeah, do I stay in London, or do I just imagine that this is going to be the only week, or what's the thing I'm going to do? But yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
all began, and then I got to know a lot of fantastic people: Cisco Gomez, Jonathan Bishop, Sean Niles, a lot of fantastic people.
Amazing names.
Yeah,
And then how did you find it very different, the dance community back in Denmark versus what it's like here in the UK? Was that a very different movement, very different style, or was it similar? What did you think?
I would say it was different to what I was used to. In Denmark, I was trained in different sort of, yeah, it was a different approach in many ways, where UK was way more intense. It was a bit of yeah, it was a bit of a shock for me because it was very intense. You would learn maybe 10 numbers in 2 days, or maybe like maybe even 10 numbers
Fast
in
pace.
one day, and you just have to get your shit together, and then bam, on stage. And maybe even so, they would change the choreography 20 minutes before you're meant to go on stage, you know, on TV
Especially,
and
I feel
live.
like that especially happens in television.
Word,
Especially.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and that was chaotic as fuck,
Yeah.
but I got used to it.
I can imagine.
I was so green as well. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh, okay, because bear in mind, I'm Danish, so I was still figuring out how to speak English. So I was like, okay, what does that mean?
So
Even
it's like,
just how to get from A to B, like the tube and shit.
yeah, so it was really like a challenge, not just physically, but also just even communication wise. You could.
It was crazy. And then
Uh,
moving next year was even worse. It was so challenging, but that's what you grow from, yeah. So
yeah. Then what made you want to stay in the UK? Was it the work? Was it just more work for you here in the UK than back home?
it felt like the natural sort of step for me in order to continue and grow with my craft.
Yeah.
I wanted to push myself. It's always been a thing for me to push myself out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
and that was just the way to do so at the time. You know, it was really uncomfortable, everything about it, you know, because I
Yeah,
was
but
so
if you don't
comfortable in
take risks,
Copenhagen.
you don't grow, you know? You've got to take
That's
risks in order
true.
to grow.
And you got to remind yourself sometimes. Sometimes you go, like, I need to remind myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe you're getting too comfortable, and maybe you should try something that actually is the challenging and
Yeah.
the thing that exposes you a bit and makes you feel vulnerable.
Yeah. And then so when was your first kind of job as a choreographer here in the UK? Because I mean, I saw you did in 2015 the Janet Jackson Burn It Up video. Was that kind of your first movement, like your first big thing here?
I think it was definitely the thing that sort of, I guess it, in a way, it made people aware of who I was, because I had just moved and I was just sort of focusing on dancing and working as a dancer and being an industry
Yeah.
dancer, and being versatile was my main thing. So that video was essentially not even meant to be a choreographic piece or something that I was meant to direct, or it wasn't even, I didn't even know it was going to explode and be the thing that it is today. Um, so I wanted to put videos together to remind people to be versatile, and
Yeah.
to educate themselves in different styles and have an open mindset, and you can take that and you can transfer it into, like, not even just for dance related reasons, but also just as a human being. You got to keep an open mindset to anything and everything.
No, but the
um
video was incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. I watched it a few times actually. I was like,
Yeah,
this guy's amazing. And your hair was short.
it was so short, and all my
Yeah.
friends are telling me to cut my hair now. I might do it, I don't know.
Now I read that it was all about versatility, but one cool factor that happened for you with that is that Janet actually retweeted it, Janet Jackson.
Yeah, yeah,
That
she
is
did.
amazing. How did you feel? That is like, if you're gonna put a video out there with someone's music, the best kind of thank you is that the artist takes it and goes, wow, this person created really beautiful movements in my music and my voice. Like, that is, what a nice thing to do. What a nice thing for her to like do for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really nice. I didn't know how to react at the time because it
I
was,
imagine.
obviously I was also very green to that whole sort of aspect of the game, so it was very new to me. Um, just having something that goes viral is something that I think it's hard to deal with and to figure out how to manage it. So it took me a little
Yeah.
while to sort of understand how to manage
How
it.
many
But
views did it get now? I mean, it was like almost 20 million or over 20 million? Or was that black
well,
and white?
yeah, well, Burn It Up have, I think it's like 4 million or something like that
Crazy
on
numbers.
YouTube. Where the sequel Black or White is a different story, because as we released that video, it was fully just what's the word? It was, people were really appreciating this video worldwide. People would really, like, they would take it in and they would support because it's a very important message. Um, it's like it's about humanity should be our race and love should be our religion.
I
That
love that quote.
that's
Humanity should be the race and love the religion.
yeah.
It's such a cool. Did you come up with that? It's amazing. It's beautiful.
No, I did not. I wish I could say I did. But yes, I did come up with that.
But you were inspired by it.
Yeah, no, that quote definitely, and then of course Michael Jackson's black and white video. Those two factors were what basically
Yeah.
established the video and made us want to do it. And also, it was just a matter of taking the concept from Burn It Up and then develop it into something that is in the same
Real
sort of
big.
worlds, and then but then bigger scale.
I think
Um,
you did that. I think you did exactly that. I remember when the black and white video came out, I watched it and I was just like, I mean, you went to what, 12 countries? I think it was.
yeah, yeah, 12 countries in 16 days.
That's crazy. And how long did
Yeah.
the editing of all that take? Because it must have been really tricky to make sure that you taught choreographically the right bits of music for each bit. Like that must have taken ages to sort, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of prior to actually starting to film anything, everything was sort of scheduled already. So I sent out the specific sections to people, and then either they would learn my piece of choreography or I would learn some of their piece of choreography. But everything was transition wise, and it was already planned ahead of time. And then we just went on this huge trip, and you know,
Amazing.
it was
Did you go
just
on the trip solely for the project?
yeah.
Wow, cool.
A lot of people think that we actually, oh, except for two scenes, except for the one with Deanna Matzes. We shot that when she was here in London. It was super convenient, and she was in town, so it was like, okay, we just gotta seize this opportunity. And then the other was when I was in Barcelona. I was judging a competition and teaching, and then it just made sense to shoot that scene there as well. And
Yeah.
then I think 3 months after that, we went on the giant trip, Mike and I. Mike is basically, he's a huge part of this video. Mike Dones, he's like, he did both Burn It Up and Black or White. He also did Scream, and he's just
Scream is another one. I mean, the trilogy is amazing, but
thank
Scream,
you.
you could feel that you were like, this is the end of the trilogy. It was like
It was personal. That's what it
the
was.
video is 11 minutes long. It's got this amazing intro with the plane and the setup.
Yeah.
How about that one? That one took you a lot longer, I read.
Yeah, it took me 2 years.
Yeah,
It was like
I bet.
it was intense. It was very
Yeah.
intense. I would say because it was such a personal project, and I felt that since Burn It Up and Black or White was very much for the people, and it was still something I felt was very important. But I wanted to challenge. Well, we all wanted, both Josh, Mike, and I wanted to challenge the sort of cinematic approach to the concert video, but still also honor what we did before. So it was about figuring out how to connect the dots story wise.
It felt like an actual feature film when you started,
Yes.
and then obviously the dancing kicks in, but it feels the whole thing like you're watching a feature film.
That's fantastic. That's the goal.
And the inspo for that, obviously, it's very like space and astronauts and stuff like that. So you took a lot of inspiration from the actual MJ and Janet Scream video.
Yeah, totally. There was a lot of inspiration. I think in general, there's a lot of inspiration from just the current world situations and different topics that I felt was important to highlight and to make people sort of think about.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah,
mainly the video is about fear. That's the overall theme, and it's about not letting fear overtake your actions and sort of dominate your choices in your life. So I think you can also sort of, there's a lot of fear going on right now in the world with everything that's going on. So I think it's important to to understand the fear, but rather than letting it literally control your actions and sort of push you down, you should just do the opposite. You should let it encourage you and go, okay, you know what, this is a fucked up situation, but let's try to connect even more if this is the case.
Yeah, no, but I think the whole trilogy and the message in each one of them was so good. And I think in your work, at least definitely in your videos, it's important to you to share a message. You don't just choreograph steps to music. You really try and find what it is that you're trying to say with it, which is really cool. Really makes you very different, I think, from a lot of other commercial choreographers and dancers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm excited for our collaboration.
Oh, yes. I haven't told anyone that, but you can say
I
it.
haven't.
Tobias and I are going to be dancing together, team. Watch this space. We can't right now, but
It's gonna be great.
can't wait. Actually, I'm really nervous about it, but I can't wait for it because I've been I like challenging myself as well, and it's good to try different things and think outside the box. So I can't wait for that. And I have to ask you, your logo. It's got like your cool hat and the little lightning bolt. It's so cool. What did you come up with?
You like it?
I love it.
I mean, it felt like it made sense to me because a lot of people, like you were saying it earlier, you were saying that it's like I got lightning in my feet. So essentially, that's what it is. And then it's the hat, because the hat has somehow become a signature in a sense. So it made sense to connect the two. And then one day I was just drawing it and I figured, you know what? It makes sense.
It's such a cool logo, honestly. Wait, I wrote down so many notes because I have so many questions. So we talked about all the YouTube videos, which I love. And Dance at Home is the newest one that you just released. So make sure, guys, go and check it out. Dance at Home. Tobias has it up on his Instagram. So do I, and his YouTube channel. It's amazing. But you worked with all these insane big names as well, like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Kylie. How did that come about? Was that like kind of a baby that came from the success of your YouTube videos that people wanted? These people kind of reached out to work with you.
I think, well, as a dancer, it was purely that. It was just because when I moved to London, that was my main focus. You know, I was just focused on just being versatile, and I was focused on making it as a commercial dancer in the UK, and that's what, after, I'm not saying that it happened like that, but at least after a year of going through tough times and whatnot, eventually jobs starting to come in, and you know, the name starts to get out there, and I owe a lot of fantastic choreographers, you know, a lot of thanks for just trusting me at that time. But so then I think the first sort of big name that came in for me as a dancer was Ariana Grande. I did that at the EMAs, and then things started to flow in after that time. And then my good friend, my best friend Anders, moved over to London as well. And then I think a year after that, we did Justin Bieber at the EMAs as well. And then I started to work with Kylie Minogue, and that was also a segue for me to start doing more choreography work, because I was brought into that to choreograph some of the stuff for the male dancers. Like, I was a contributing choreographer for it.
But you really are. And then you're working a lot with K-pop as well. I saw. I think they're called, is it Super Juniors or something like that?
Yeah, Super Junior. Yeah, word. Yeah.
How's that going? Because they have such a cool, they've got such cool style, and I really like what they're doing over there with them.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Very, very determined and very hardworking talents. I worked with them for their, like, years ago, for their it was a single release. It was the comeback for Black Suit. That was the track, and it was just great. It was one of those situations where you meet someone that are just on your same sort of, we were on the same page, and it was a great collaborational experience. Thankfully, they liked what I had made for them, so that's good, because it's always, when you travel to a new country and you go, here's the piece, you never really know, but
you never really know. Yeah. And how was it communicating wise? Because did they speak English, or did you have a translator? I mean, do you speak Korean and we don't know?
Imagine. Yes, I do, guys. Just wait. No, I wish I did. No, that we had a translator, which was great. But they also spoke partly English. Some of them more than others. So it was we were able to communicate. And then after we worked together for that first job, we stayed in touch with each other. So it was really nice. And then they brought me back years after to do what D&E did, which is basically D&E are doing their own projects on the side, still under Super Junior, but their own sort of album releases and whatnot. It's like a duo. And I got to do one of their singles called Danger, which was also a fantastic experience.
Honestly, you're smashing it. And then not only that, then you also took part in World of Dance.
Yes, World
You
of the
need to tell.
Dance.
So I know Derek. Me and Derek are friends from back in the day.
Yeah,
And when I saw that he was doing World of Dance, I was like, of course he is, because he's so creative and he's so like, I mean, he eats, breathes, and lives for dancing. You can just sense that. So when this show came about, I was tuning in, watching every week, and then all of a sudden, I saw that you and the Easy Twins were on it. And I was like, no way!
yeah.
How was that?
It was, I think, to this day, one of the most beneficial creative experiences I've ever had with anyone.
Uh-huh.
Working with Easy Twins and just collaborating. It was, to me, it was, and also for them, for us, it was all about pushing the boundaries of what we thought we were able to do. And as we did the competition, we really managed to push ourselves like beyond what I ever imagined we could do. Um,
Yeah.
and it was just we're very much the same. Easy Swins and I, we're very much perfectionists, and when we work and we create steps, we would literally test out every single solution to the problem of the piece, and then we would sit back and then we go which one to choose, and then we would never know because we had made too many possibilities. So,
And then you
but it was great.
obviously collaborated well, because three minds to think alike is tough to come to like the conclusion together as a team. So you had a really good working synergy between the three of you.
Yeah, which is great and it's so important. And then also, I respect their work a lot, but I also respect them as human beings a lot. It's one of those things where if you're gonna spend some time with someone for so long, it's really important that you're on the same page as human
Yeah.
beings. And
Did you have any nice specific moments with any of the judges?
well, yeah, we had.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you froze for a second. Yeah,
Okay.
you're back. You're back.
Um, yeah, well, actually, we didn't really talk a lot with the judges, but when we were performing, we had some, there was some great feedback, of course, and so that was great
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, you look like you were loving your life when you got your feedback. You're like, they liked it. They liked
Yeah,
it.
we were scared.
I really
Like we were
like
literally.
I, was it hard being on that stage? I mean, big performance, I would say, isn't it? Because a lot of people tune in to watch our show, and I think it's such a great show because, like you were saying earlier, versatility is so important, and being able to try out all kinds of styles and not like kind of locking yourself into one. And that show, World of Dance, is so amazing at doing exactly that, just showcasing how many different styles and how incredible every single different person that's coming in to represent those styles is. Did you take back lots of wonderful memories from the other competitors?
Yeah, well, we trained some with the Angela brothers, the Tap brothers, which
Yeah,
they are
they
just
were good.
incredible. They're also in Dance at Home, by the way.
Are they?
Um,
Oh yes, I saw them. I saw the clip. They're the two tap dancers, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Actually,
Yeah.
a lot of the people in Dance at Home are in Dance at Home. You got Briar in there as well. Um, Darion is in there. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's like I literally reach out to as many people as possible, but it was a great
Okay.
sort of everyone had great energy with each other, so it was
I
very
just
pleasant.
wish you would have stayed a little bit longer because I wanted to see another one.
Oh yeah, so did we, but it is what it is. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I know. I know. Now you've got some really cool projects coming up. You see, you've got a new YouTube series.
Yes, that
Can you
is
tell me a little
true.
bit about it?
Yeah, I'm doing this. This is actually something that we started filming prior to this whole COVID-19 pandemic happening and just going crazy. So this is
Mm-hmm.
a show called Talent Spotlight, and it is just a show where I sit down and I have a conversation with a chosen talent, and I listen to their story and their future aspirations, and then at the end of the show, they basically perform and do a showcase.
Oh wow.
Um, and it can be it's for any artist in general. It's like it's dancers, of course, and choreographers, but it can also be it can be singers, or it can be just people that plays music or producers or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You
So that's
remind
really
me
exciting.
you remind me a lot of someone that just you really enjoy listening to people's stories and taking that and growing from it, like growing yourself as an artist, as a human being, from listening to other stories. So when can we start watching this? I mean, obviously we're stuck now in COVID-19, but
Yeah. I mean,
is this something that's going to get released ASAP, or is it going to take a little bit of time before it starts coming out?
Yeah, well, we filmed for the first season. We filmed 4 episodes already,
Oh,
so
nice.
which is great. So we're working on those edits right now, and then essentially we release it. I think we're just gonna release it when the 4 episodes are ready, and then because we don't know how long this is gonna go on for, but
Yeah.
whenever we can, we will finish the first season, and we have an incredible lineup for that. So I'm excited to share that with everybody. It's gonna be really
Amazing.
interesting.
And how many episodes are you doing per series? How many are you going to do?
The goal is to have 10 episodes
10
per
episodes.
series, yeah, per season,
Nice.
yeah.
Are you partnering with anyone in specific, or is this another like passion project for you?
Oh no, it's just something I want to do. It's something I always wanted to do in general because I'm always, you meet so many people, and I've always just wanted to create an educational platform where you basically enlighten the people and let them know all of the stories that are behind these fascinating and incredible
Mm,
talents.
yeah.
And it's something that I also learn a lot from. And then I figured, you know what? If I'm gonna sit down with these people either way, I might as well just put it out to the people.
Enjoy seeing them do what they do best as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's why I do these videos too as well every night. Not videos, these chats, because
Yeah,
I like you. I've met so many people throughout my years in the industry, and
word.
I feel like all kinds of people. Because doing a show like Strictly Come Dancing, you don't just meet other dancers. You meet actors, you meet singers, you meet athletes, you meet chefs, you meet. I mean, literally from across the board, and even behind the scenes, I get to meet people like you and really incredible choreographers and creatives that just think outside the box. And I love listening to the stories and like celebrating it as well. But I
Yeah,
need to ask, you said yourself it wasn't easy. It was tough. Coming from Denmark and then working your way here, not really speaking the language straight away. What if there's somebody out? I'm sure there's people out there that are working dancers that are finding this whole business really tough and really hard. What would be kind of like the best piece of advice that you could give them about how tough this can be and how much it could also be incredible if you push through?
um well, I think sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith, but you also gotta understand that it's going to get harder before it gets better. It's one of those things where the more you can figure out what it is that actually makes you happy within the journey, and maybe that is not necessarily always the jobs, because if we're always living chasing the highs and chasing that next big thing, we're never going to get fulfilled. So I think it's important to find the little things, because there's so many things you can do within the dance industry. Figure out
Yeah.
what it is that actually makes you happy. Maybe you just have to freestyle every single day, or maybe you have to start to create yourself, or maybe you have to like to figure out what it is, because you don't want to be chasing something just because it's an approval you're trying to get from someone else but yourself.
Yeah.
um, that is the thing that will eventually make it really challenging for you if you're doing it for someone else but you.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I think as
remember.
as artists, especially as an artist, you lose a sense of self when you stop creating, from what you really feel and what you really want to express. If you
Word.
start creating for the job too much, or for the next big thing, or, oh, I want to get that job, so I'm going to do it for the job, then you kind of lose the beauty, because the whole reason that we dance or act or sing or choreograph, whatever, is to be artistic, is to express something. So you're absolutely right. Like, you've just got to do what makes you feel good, and not necessarily what's going to be the next big thing in life.
Yeah.
And tell me if you agree, but don't you think that if you do what you love and you do what really means in your heart and in your soul, really means a lot to you, it doesn't feel like you're working. You never feel like you're having to catch the next thing. Am I
That's
right?
true. Very, very completely. I agree completely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go because we've run out of time. But I'm not kidding. I'm slightly obsessed with you. I told you. I'm fangirling over you.
Well, I
But
can't wait to do something together.
When's Tobias gonna put the next video up? When's your next video coming up? After, I mean, are you putting on anything? Are you working on anything right now that you can release during our time at home?
I have a lot of videos that we have already filmed. I don't know if it's the right time to release them. Some of them are not really appropriate during this time, so I might wait it out and do it later in the year. But we have literally filmed. I think we got 4 concert videos that we filmed already, Josh and I, and which is sort of we're keeping them in the vault, and you know, and that it feels great actually. It feels great to just, you know, knowing that you have all this
coming up
stuff filmed, and yeah, all this, you know, we'd made it for ourselves, and we just enjoy making it. So right now it's just, you know, we're enjoying that process.
I honestly cannot wait for the next video. I cannot wait. Guys, go and check him out. Go to his Instagram, go to his YouTube channel. I promise you, you will have hours of entertainment.
Yes.
And are you going to be doing any live classes again soon?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm doing a live class every month, which is for free on my YouTube channel. And I think one will be coming up in like a week's time, or maybe sooner. I'm trying to make it sooner. And then I'm doing exclusive classes on my Patreon page as well, which is a membership page where you can basically you learn two pieces if you sign up, and those are also live, but those are via Zoom. So it's a different process, but yeah, I'm teaching a lot live.
You're doing a lot though. You're a busy guy, Tobias.
I'm trying to be.
And you're still under 30, aren't you? You're still not even 30 yet.
I'm definitely under 30, yeah.
I was like, I cannot believe he's still not even 30, and he's accomplished so many incredible things in your life. I can't wait to see what's going to happen for you the next few years, really. I can't wait for a collab.
Yes, I can't wait.
I can't wait for the collab.
It's going to be great.
Anyways, thank you so much for sharing your story and telling us all about everything. You are awesome.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace. All right.